one of the most fascinating things to me, and this kind of explains why I'm so, into this fitness world, is how the body works. One of the things that drew me to nursing was this idea that, yeah, engineering is really cool and finance is really, fun. And there's so many different other areas in life that you could study that are very kind of interesting how things work. But I've always been most intrigued about the human body. It's a very interesting thing. I had a really early on experience in my life. I might have said this story in the past, but my brother and I, we were kind of chilling out at home. It was school holidays and we were playing FIFA. And we were playing for like 4 or 5 hours, just, against each other, 1v1. And he was just, we had like a bowl of peanuts on the table and we were kind of eating them. And there was an incident where he kind of choked on this one peanut as he was kind of lying down like I've said this in the past, laying down like a gangster, in the sofa, not like upright. So, this peanut goes down the wrong hole, goes into the windpipe. He starts choking, he stops breathing. I panic, I jump on his back, start hitting him every which way I knew. And finally, this thing gets dislodged and he coughs it up and whatnot. And that's kind of one of the most earliest memories that I wanted to know what to do in this circumstance. I wanted to know if one of my loved ones was in danger or a friend was in danger, I could do something. I wasn't just like a person that's got no knowledge about first aid, about some of these things that are going on with the body. And so that kind of led me into nursing, led me into kind of studying the body, and still to this day I'm still interested in and whatnot. But even after that incident, I still had this drive to kind of work out what was going on in the body. And then I love basketball. I'm kind of working out, how to jump faster, how to sprint faster, all these kind of different systems in the body, whether it be a kind of medical condition or whether it be just purely a fitness and performance kind of based thing. So I've always had this thing about it. I always learn things, even to this day, I still learn certain things that kind of like catch me and I just go wondering like, man, this is an incredible design, how this body is made. It's so complex. There are systems still right now that we have no idea about. Like, for example, the brain, we don't really know much about the brain. We know the basic functions, but how the mind works and all that, it's just like a black hole. We don't really know much about this stuff. And so one of the things that I've kind of appreciated from my clinical experience and from my studies is that there is so much to know here, man. There is absolutely so much to know. And the research, unfortunately, in this fitness kind of environment, and we're all kind of about, the research, like the field is not that advanced, man. Like some of these research studies they're poor. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of money in this sort of stuff. So I always kind of find it fascinating when people kind of want, references. They want research to back up your anecdote into the fitness world. It's kind of like, what do you want me to say, man? Like a lot of this stuff is unknown. Not to say that my anecdote is true, but I think it's a really silly idea where you experience something in the flesh, you experience something as you're training, and you dismiss it because there's no paper to back you up. That's not what... You can't be like that, man. Do you think any of the smart people in the world who have invented wonderful things, do you think they thought like that? Or no one's found this out, so this can't be right. Oh, I can't do this because no one's ever done it before. There's no results, to show that this works. We have to get out of this mentality, man. We have to get out of this mentality. You have everything you need to run experiments on yourself. There is a barbell, there is gravity, there's intensity, there's volume, there's all these different attributes to training. You can do whatever you freaking want. And your goals could be completely different to my goals. You can do whatever you want. If you want to run every single day chin-ups, do it. Run it for a week or 2 or 3. See how it feels. Are you getting run down too much? Maybe reduce some of that volume per session. Maybe go one session really high, second session nothing, vary it everywhere you want. The whole point that I'm trying to say with this whole channel is you guys are seeing me do some crazy stuff. Oh, the guy's squatting two times a day. He's an absolute crazy man. Why are you doing that? Why not? Why? Like, whatever. Like, the Bulgarians did steroids. That's why it worked. Whatever. Has anybody ever done it that hasn't done any steroids? Has anybody ever done it for such a long period of time without stepping themselves up? One thing that for the second time in a row, this is the second video I'm talking about this. One thing that I'm very, very happy is that I'm 713 days into this and I haven't snapped my spine. So one thing we can say that. So I'm encouraging you guys, if you have some sort of passion, if you have a fleeting idea about whatever training methodology, run it. Run with it. Do it. Do it. Constantly my mind is like, man, this deadlift business, man, I've blown up in my deadlift and it's because of the squats. So that's a connection there. That's a really strong connection in my mind. Oh, the papers, I don't care about the papers. My experience is when I squat a lot, deadlift goes up. Another problem that I have is I struggle with the breaking of the floor. And I reckon the lats are involved. Now, I reckon it's the depression of the lats, which I need to train, not the retraction. There's so many different functions of the lats that they do, abduction, all this sort of stuff. Adduction, rather. So which one do I train? I really like pull-ups. I really want to do pull-ups. Maybe pull-ups will be it. So today I did pull-ups. And as I did 4 sets of 5, and I really tried to kind of squeeze my back, really tried to kind of like, stick my chest out as I was doing it. So no arms, it was all kind of upper back. I did it. I wasn't really happy with kind of how it felt. It didn't kind of mimic what it would usually feel like when I'm deadlifting. Those muscles were not firing the same way. So I moved away. I was kind of walking around through the gym and I was like, what machine can I do? Well, I could do single arm row, but the deadlift is a 2-arm action. So I'm not going to get the same sensation. So then I walked over to, you'll see this. I walked over to this machine. I don't even know what it's freaking called. It's kind of like a T-bar row, but it's a machine. So it's not like, you're getting a barbell and doing it. My bodybuilding machine knowledge is not very good. You guys will see it. You'll probably leave a comment down below what it's called. It's kind of like a T-bar thing. You kind of stand on the platform. It's like a 45 degree with a pad and your chest is on the pad and you row. Man, that machine lit me up. The whole time I was trying to depress my shoulders, put that humerus all the way down into those sockets, like really, really kind of push down. And I was rowing to my hip. I wasn't trying to row really high. I was rowing to my hip because that's kind of mimicking what I'm trying to do with the deadlift when I'm setting up. Right now I'm sitting to you guys and I'm saying, man, this lit my back up in exactly the right way when I'm setting up for a deadlift. So I feel this movement here is going to help me with my deadlift. I don't want to go into PubMed and into CINAL databases and look for studies. I don't care what the studies show. If a really good study comes up and they say, okay, quarter squats have been shown to improve your vertical leaping ability better than ATG squats. Quarter squats. Everyone's going to start doing quarter squats. But it's a study, and a study needs to limit its variables. It needs to have constants. So discussions from that study were like, oh yeah, this is what athletes need to do. Well, if athletes just do quarter squats, ACL injuries are going to start popping off the chain. You're going to get really sore knees. I just know it. I've tried it. I know how it feels to do quarter squats. That's why I do pin squats, because I take away the contraction from the concentric and the eccentric portions, because that little kind of change of direction on the knee on itself in the quarter squat is just brutal. I know that from experience. That study tells me to do quarter squats. I'm like, yeah, no worries, man. You do quarter squats, and I'll see you in the orthopedic ward, when I'm relieving from ED. I'll see you on the orthopedic ward with your freaking knee replacement. I know that for a fact. That's my experience. I don't need to look for a study to kind of fight you, to argue with you why your study is shit. Couldn't care less about that. The point I'm trying to make is this is not rocket science. This is not general relativity. This is not quantum physics. We don't need to have crazy smart people to have evidence and then we're applying for the Nobel Peace Prize like, it's a groundbreaking thing. This is relatively simple stuff when it comes to weightlifting. This little field of science to me is simple. It's very, very simple. It is not kind of like the medical world and you have like so many different things going on. You can run an experiment by yourself. Just go with it. I'm squatting 2 days a week. Oh, you need steroids to make that work. I'm not going to failure, man. How many guys have squatted twice a day, 5 times a day, and they went to a comfortable level? Because the Bulgarian method was like, we're dying today under the bar. That's Sivan Abajev in the corner sitting, and he's going to like sniper us. He's got 50 lasers on our forehead as we're going for a squat. And if we're grinding it for 4 or 5 seconds, boom, my brain is splashed across the back of the freaking gym. I'm not under those conditions. I couldn't care less. My meals are coming in. I have a job. Everything's taken care of. It's not communism. No one's going to kill me if I don't make this squat. So I just have fun with it. Have fun with it. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. This morning I woke up. I trained this morning at 6 a.m. really early. Worked up to 170. I did 3 singles with that. Felt good. Walked away. Went to the gym around 5 o'clock. Did a whole lot of volume. I did a lot of volume, like 3 sets of 10 with the bar, 5 sets of 5 with 100 kilos. I did 5 singles at 140, and then I did 5 singles at 180. So lots of practice, lots of movement. I feel mint. Nothing is sore. I don't have DOMs. I feel quite fresh. I could do another session if it wasn't, what is it now, 8:30 at night. It's just experiment. Just like this whole lats thing, this is my latest kind of little project. My hypothesis is that the T-bar row is more effective at improving the deadlift than the pull-up. This is my hypothesis, and I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna run this damn experiment. I don't need any money. I don't need anyone's approval. I don't need any ethics. I don't need anything. I'm gonna run this experiment, and I encourage you guys to run whatever you want. Sit down, think about your problem. Everyone's got a puzzle to solve. I've spoken about this. Just go with it, man. Whatever the hell you think it is, you have enough experience with your body, right? Just run with it. If you think it's a reasonable argument, whatever you're trying to argue, experiment with it. Honestly, this is how I think records are broken. This is how, nowadays it's a it's a different ballgame. I wish it was all vanilla and we were all kind of like all about, if it was all about genes and it was all about methodologies, training methodologies, but now it's just like, no worries, just up the freaking drugs and voila, win some medals. And on the way there, pay off the board, there's all political crap. People have made videos about this, how countries are involved, politics are the highest echelon, making countries go through untested, blah, 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 all that boring crap, which is kind of why I think sports, especially barbell sports, is just a freaking joke, man. Any sport where there's a lot of strength involved, a lot of these drugs. I mean, even non-barbell sports, soccer, I don't know. I'm sure there's drugs there as well. That's kind of my biggest thing about sports is just, I wish it was all about methodologies and coaching. My methodology is better than your methodology. Let's go. It's not, man. You could be freaking sitting on a couch. Somebody did a study, speaking of freaking studies. This is the extent of people's ideas. Somebody did a study that compared people that trained like your normal kind of bro split, bench press 3 times a week, versus, so that was one group, and the other group was people that didn't do any training and just took drugs, took testosterone. I haven't read the study. I heard about this. Basically, the people that sat on the couch and just took drugs had better increases in strength than the people who were actually training. Man, if that doesn't explain everything, I don't know what the hell does, man. And we go ahead and we buy some of these training programs from people like, oh, damn, wow, man, you put 50 kilos on your bench press in a year. Man, what are your sets and reps, man? Wow, you must be a mastermind of periodization. You must be a wizard. Let alone he's there in the shed freaking cooking up a freaking meth lab and a steroid lab. Anyway, the beautiful thing about what we're doing here in our little kind of niche of fitness is that you don't need anybody. You can just buy a squat rack, park that thing into your garage, and you just experiment on yourself. And you are against yourself. You don't have to go to competitions. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone. No one cares if Ivan at 70 years old looks back and says, yeah, I squatted 250. No one gives a shit, man. I know for a fact I ain't breaking no records. Okay, I'm done with that because I'm never going to take a single freaking pill or drug in my life. Okay, I'm at peace with that. I'm never going to win anything. So whether I squat 250, 230, 210, no one gives a shit. Okay, other than me. It's just me and me. Me versus me. Me and my little hypotheses. Me and my little experiments. until the day I die. I'm going to run these damn experiments. Oh, tomorrow I might think, oh, it's your tibialis anterior that's involved in the squat. Oh, let's do that. Let's smash the anterior tibialis for the next freaking month and let's see if that. That's what I love about training, man. And I want you guys to do the same thing. Run amok, run your experiments, and enjoy it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.